Help! Anyone! Anyone! Jake, Mark, Lily, and Sarah are just a few hours away from the winter carnival when the storm hit. They'd been driving through the icy mountain roads, laughing and chatting, looking forward to the Christmas break festivities. But now, the snowflakes that seemed so majestic when they first started off on this road trip is now nothing but white haze in front of them. I can't drive like this, I can barely see the road. Maybe we should pull over. This is getting bad. No, we're close. The carnival's just ahead, I think we should push on. But the storm didn't care about their plans. It slammed against the car, the wind howling louder than their voices. The road seemed to vanish entirely, swallowed by the snow. This isn't safe. You can never trust the weather. We need to stop. Need to stop? Stop where? Do you realize we're in the middle of nowhere? Jake cursed under his breath and slowed the car. And they were stranded in the middle of nowhere. The blizzard making everything feel eerily silent, like the world had stopped for a moment. Look, a sign. The sign was barely visible through the storm, but it was there. Winthrop. 2 miles. Come on, Jake. We don't have a choice. With no other option, Jake turned the car in the direction of the village. When they arrived, the snow had thickened, but the small village of Winthrop was tucked away in an eerie calm. The streets were empty, the only sounds being the crunch of snow beneath their tires and the howling winds. The village seemed like a frozen winter wonderland. This place is so quiet. Where is everyone? Well, it's Christmas Eve, Jake said, pulling the car up in front of a small inn. And in this cold, everyone's probably inside celebrating. An older man appeared from the front door of the inn as they stepped out of the car. He smiled at them, his face creased with age, but his eyes sparkled with warmth. Welcome to Winthrop, Mr. Carver, the innkeeper. You folks look like you could use a place to stay. We would appreciate it. The storm's pretty bad. We just need to rest for a while. Of course. Come on in. We've got warm rooms and a fire going. Perfect for newlyweds like yourselves. Oh, we aren't married. We're just friends. Mr. Carver eyed the girls and then the guys. What kind of friends? This ain't no place for funny business. We're students from BII. Here's our ID. ID? youngsters these days. Back in my time, we got married at 12. All right, Grandpa, how much for the night? All 4 of you? $40. Room to the back. We'll take it. Jake and Mark exchanged a glance with Sarah and Lily, but they shrugged it off. They were just happy to be out of the storm. Inside the inn, the warmth was a welcome relief. The smell of wood smoke filled the air, and the crackle of the fire made the whole place feel like a forgotten relic from another time. The furniture was heavy, antique, and adorned with old paintings and clocks that seemed to tick just a bit too loudly. Mr. Carver led them to their rooms. No noise after 8. Stepping inside, the friends all stared at the scene like they were entering back in time. The rooms were all so outdated. In fact, the TV in their room was an ancient model, black and white with knobs that stuck. Mark tried to turn it on, but it was static. Does this work? You folks won't need much TV. These techno gadgets are always acting up. I like the radio better myself. You ever hear a good old radio program now? That's the real stuff. Nothing better than the old days. Right. So are there dining options here? I ain't no cook. Drop by Mrs. Johnson's soup shop every evening. It's right around the corner. With that, Mr. Carver left them be. Jake, Lily, Mark, and Sarah exchanged uncertain glances as they settled in. So Mrs. Johnson's soup shop for dinner, I guess. I need to freshen up first. I need to rest. What? For how long? I'm starving. As the girls nestled into bed and Mark tried to get the TV going, Jake decided to check out the inn and anything nearby. But as he walked into the lobby, he immediately spotted a young woman by the fireplace. She had pale skin and wore a vintage dress, her hair styled in soft waves. Being the charmer he was, he couldn't help himself. Walking over, he gave her a smile. Hey there, I'm Jake. You here for the carnival too? The woman looked up, startled. Oh, Christine. No, I was here on my honeymoon, but I heard there was a Christmas fair by the mall. You're married? Wow, you look so young. Excuse me, I'm a grown woman. I'm almost 16 years old. Yikes. Well, I was too old for you anyways. I'll see you around then. Jake quickly bailed. He was a bit surprised by these townsfolk. They were so outdated. As he reached the reception, he noticed Christine's husband, nearly double her age. Who's he? I don't know. He's a guest here. Just came to say hi. You stay in the room and don't get out. Jake watched as he yanked the girl inside. By then, the friends all arrived, ready to check out the town. It was a 10-minute walk to what was the bustling market of Winthrop. And to their surprise, the fair was not half bad. The friends walked from stall to stall checking out the holiday merchandise. Wow, these things look like they've been pulled out from a time capsule. Vintage toys, vinyl records, Who uses these anymore? It's the 90s. Look at these postcards. My grandma used to mail me these. I'll sell you them for 10 cents each. Really? 10 cents? This town is like a museum. Maybe. It's charming. The friends all felt the strange yet exciting chill of being in a place that didn't seem to belong to the present. Picking up new souvenirs, the friends stopped by Mrs. Johnson's soup shop. Mrs. Johnson stared at them as they entered. They were the only ones in the shop. Never seen you handsome lads before. We stopped on our way to the carnival, staying at Mr. Cavern's, and said we could get some dinner here. Well, isn't he right? There's chicken pot pie on the menu. It's the four of us. Mrs. Johnson served them up a bowl of chicken pot pie and some buns. The food wasn't all that great, but Mrs. Johnson was awfully sweet, especially to Mark. Is she flirting with him? I thought Mr. Carver had a crush on her. After dinner that night, as the snow continued to fall outside, friends returned to the inn. They tried to get cozy in the blankets, but as the night grew cold, the temperature inside the inn began to plummet. The friends huddled together in their rooms, pulling blankets tighter around themselves, trying to ignore the strange chill creeping onto their bones. Do the heaters even work? Lily put her hands up against the bright red radiators in the room. It was definitely old, but it looked like it was working. This is so strange. The heat is on, but why is it so cold? Maybe it'll just take some time. As the night deepened, each of them fell into a deep sleep. But it wasn't peaceful. Jake woke up suddenly, his heart pounding. He heard it, the faint sound of a knock on the window. His breath caught. It was so soft, like a whisper, but unmistakable. The knocking grew faster, more frantic, until Jake couldn't take it anymore. He threw the covers off and rushed to the window. Outside, in the snowstorm, a figure stood, a woman, shivering in the cold, clutching onto her child. Her face obscured by the falling snow. Her hands pressed to the glass, her lips moving as if begging for help. Jake reached for the window. But just as he touched the cold pane of glass, he was jolted awake. Not knowing what just happened, Jake closed his eyes and tried to sleep. But the next morning, something bizarre happened. Mark woke up, rubbing his eyes. What was that noise last night? You guys heard that? Like someone knocking on the window? What? You heard it too? I thought it was a dream. I thought I saw someone out the window. This is so strange. How could we all experience the same thing? I don't know, man. Something's just off about this place. Mark got up and tried to turn on the TV in their room. Like we've been cut off from the world since we got here. Why won't this damn thing work? But all of a sudden, the TV flickered to life. But odd as it was showing an old 1930s newscast. The screen was black and white. The friends froze, staring at the TV as it showed the wrecked village, the broken down homes, the mall, the soup shop, all destroyed. Good evening, this is Walter Reed with the Greenville News. In a tragedy that has shocked our community, the blizzard that struck our town has claimed the lives of nearly every resident. What started as a typical winter storm quickly turned into a ferocious blizzard, trapping families in their homes. The winds reached unimaginable speeds and temperatures plummeted to life-threatening lows. Despite efforts to reach those stranded, no one survived the storm. Winthrop, once a vibrant town, now lies in ruins, a frozen monument to the terror of that night. Authorities are still unable to confirm the full extent of the damage, but it's clear Winthrop is no more. What is this? All dead? The town wrecked by a storm in 1932? If no one survived, then who did we meet last night? I knew something wasn't right the moment I stepped in this town. Maybe we should leave. I'm getting the chills. The friends scrambled to pack their things and leave. But as they reached the door, Jake heard Christine's voice down the hall. Jake, where are you going? Jake, ignore her. Don't look back. We have to leave right now. He turned, drawn by her voice, despite his friend's warnings. Christine stood there, tears in her eyes, reaching out to him. Can't stay here anymore. Not in this cold. Not with him. You don't have to. Come with us, Jake said, stepping closer. But as his hand brushed against hers, her skin turned cold, ice forming on her arms. Her face twisted into something monstrous, frozen and lifeless, eyes hollow with despair. What the hell are you? The inn seemed to collapse around them, the cozy, warm inn turned into a crumbling, frozen wreck covered in thick layers of ice. The walls groaned and cracked. The once welcoming villagers surrounded them, their eyes empty and dead. Where do you think you're going? I'll sell you the postcards for 5 cents each. Best deal in town. I've made another bowl of pot pie tonight. Aren't you coming? Don't leave me, Jake. Don't leave me. Merry Christmas. It's nice to get together after so long. I really missed you guys. Tonight, we celebrate. Years have passed Since that strange trip, Jake, Mark, Sarah, and Lily got together again to celebrate Christmas, like the old days. Want to check it out? Friends entered the local antique shop. Something caught Jake's eye. A photo, yellowed with age. He picked it up, his heart stopping in his chest. It was a picture of Winthrop, the village, the inn. Is this what I think it is? Those came in after the disaster in the 1930s. Nothing left of that town. So tragic. That was some experience back then, wasn't it? I still remember it every Christmas. It was a beautiful town.
Click on the subscribe button and check out more awesome videos on our channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon because you know it's interesting.